Sagittarius, welcome to your 5-card movie star spread. On Friday, I uploaded just a quick read for everybody. Today, I'm going to upload the full reads for everybody. And if you want to browse around the channel, I've updated the playlist. So as always, the playlist is going to have my last read, moving backwards from the most recent. So if you wanted to look up an old read, or you missed last week or something, it's just an easy way to do it. It's just to go on to that playlist. So here we go. That's interesting. Okay. It feels to me like you're finding, so this is the protagonist and this is the antagonist. So you're putting your walls up. You're kind of closing or shutting somebody out. And what that tells me is that you're doing so in order to protect your emotions. You've been on a bit of an emotional roller coaster with a particular person or a particular thing, because it doesn't have to be a person. This could be vocational or something. But you've been on this emotional roller coaster, and you're finally like, you know what? If I don't do something about this, I'm going to stay with this up and down energy that's driving me nuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a blockade or a distance, not between myself and this person, but the emotions that go with it. I'm not going to emotionally invest in this anymore. And you're doing this because overall you feel a sense of lacking. Okay? You feel like you don't have the resources, or you don't want to invest the resources in this, because you feel like no matter what you do and how much time, money, effort, or attention you give to this particular thing, you're always left out in the cold. It feels very much to me like you don't know where you stand in a particular situation. Like you give a lot and you express a lot, and the other person is non-expressive or indecisive. Okay? But again, this could be vocation, so it may not be a person. It could be like a group, or you could just be waiting to hear some news from a job or some other contract that you're waiting on. But it feels like you're expressive, you're bringing everything to the table, and the other energy or person or entity that you're dealing with is just very aloof. And that's what causes you this anxiety, because you put everything out there and you're not getting much communication in return. So in order to balance the situation, because that's what you're trying to do right now, the journey card that you have is all about balance and justice. I don't get that sometimes the justice card can be about revenge. It doesn't feel to me like you're lashing out at this person or even holding them accountable for their actions. It feels to me like, when we go back to the beginning, is that you're just putting up that blockade. You're not investing emotionally in the situation anymore. You might be verbalizing and you might still be open to the idea of communication, but you've shut down your emotional realm to this situation, or at least that's what you're trying to do. Ultimately, the lack of reciprocity, the lack of response was a very difficult thing for you to deal with. But now you're putting back those pieces. You're hoping, with the Tower in the inverse, you're hoping to clean up the mess yourself. Whether the how do I put this? Okay, the wound itself may not be your fault, but you recognize the responsibility for healing it is. So you're being the grown-up, and you're finding your own closure, and you're dealing with your own situation whilst just creating that blockade or distance between the other energy. You're taking the high road. You're taking responsibility for your actions, and you're recognizing that you cannot be responsible for somebody else's actions. Yeah, so for the clarification cards are all cups. So this has been a very emotional ride for you. And you really can't figure out why it was so emotional. Like you don't have a rhyme or reason why this particular connection or this particular decision or this particular contract has such an emotional hold on you. All you know is it does. But now, see, the Queen of Cups is actually, she's the only one who has a lid on her cup. The Queens create an environment. So this is you saying, you know what, I have to have better control over my emotions based on the things that I've learned in the past. So you may even be comparing this to other situations and trying to figure out why this has such a great emotional hold on you. Ultimately, you feel like there was a missed opportunity in this situation, be it yourself or the other party. You're like, well, either it's one of those things where like that person or that job or whatever, you're like, oh, they missed out on me because I could have dot, 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 dot. Or you're like, well, I missed this because I didn't handle this right. There are things I could have done better next time. You're owning up to the responsibility of it. And you're letting go. Okay? You're recognizing that some things aren't perfect and some things aren't right, and that's just the way life is. But so this is about like dwelling in remorse and focusing on the past. This is just the opposite. This is looking at the past, getting something from it, realizing the blessings that you have left, taking what you have left and moving forward. So, and there goes my alarm. I'm supposed to wake up. So, ultimately, Sagittarius, it looks really positive. It looks like you're headed in the right direction, but it's still a difficult journey, okay? There is no growth without discomfort. So focus on the growth and not the pain, and you'll accomplish everything you want to accomplish. Because what you want to do is you want to emotionally distance yourself from the outcome of this particular situation. And it's something that requires your time and attention and some hard work. So stick with it, okay? I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I'll see you next week.